Good Friday evening, everybody. Welcome into FC Cincinnati Weekly. I am your host, Caleb Noe, and he is Fox Sports soccer commentator Tyler Terrens. We got about a half an hour to talk about all things FC Cincinnati Weekly. Tyler usually joins us for about the first 10 minutes or so. How many goals do you think we can fit into this 10-minute window here?
10, maybe 9? I don't know. Just a guess. Just a random number.
Maybe even beat that.
Yeah.
So far, so good for FC Cincinnati. 3 matches down. 15 total goals in those 3 matches and all clean sheets.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Pat Noonan, you can't really ask for much more in terms of how all of these games have played out from a scoreline standpoint, from a clean sheet standpoint. I do think that there's a lot of things that this team needs to get better at, and obviously they have to, right? I mean, it's only 3 games in. One of your opponents is obviously not necessarily up to snuff, and then the other one in Atlanta, which of course we'll get into, dealing with some issues of their own. I still think that there's a lot of things this team needs to address, but while you're going through those early of the season growing pains, getting results and getting clean sheets is not the worst thing in the world.
All right, let's hit the rewind button. We're going to go back to this past weekend. We got a Champions Cup match to talk about. We'll get to that. But the MLS regular season opener on Saturday, it was also the home opener inside the Fortress. You know, last year the Orange and Blue did not protect their house like they had the 2 years prior. If they had, they'd have another supporter shield in the trophy case right now. So they'd like to make right on that this season. So we take a look at our match highlights brought to you by ProLink. Atlanta in town for this one. And once again, the Bailey comes up with a top-notch tifo. It was Gary the Lion over a blue background. It's one thing to be able to think of the idea. It's another thing to be able to bring it to life like that. And I'm no artist. I'll just tell you that.
No, but there was at least one shade of blue in there that matched your suit today. So that's what we have to look forward to moving forward, is that maybe you can match it up with the tifo. But,
there you go.
I mean, I was in the building for this game, Caleb, just as a fan, just enjoying the game with my wife, and the electricity in the stadium, in the air, the anticipation of this season, especially coming off the 4-0 result against O&M Republic, obviously at the midweek, heading into this game, home opener, season opener. You couldn't really ask for much more, but you and I were watching the same game, Caleb. I thought that it was a really, really, really poor first 20 to 25 minutes, and this, you could literally feel everybody in TQL holding their breath as their star player, Evander, goes down and eventually exits the game inside of the first 12 minutes.
Difficult to see that, but also concerning in the fact that it was a mostly non-contact injury. Don't really know what it is. We spoke to Pat Noonan after the game. He seemed optimistic at the time and then told us earlier this week it's not going to be a long-term thing. So that's great news.
No, great news for everybody involved. Great news for the league, honestly, because Evander's so good and attracts so much attention, and everybody just wants to see him play. He's a popcorn, entertaining type of player. But back to the play on the field. Again, the first 25 minutes and really the first half I thought was dreadful from FC Cincinnati. Clearly, whatever Pat Noonan and the coaching staff said in the locker room worked, because they were able to generate some chances, albeit off some Atlanta mistakes. And then Kevin Denke, I actually thought he held onto this ball a split second too late. Yeah. He ends up splitting 2 defenders on the line here, and maybe gets a little bit lucky, or it's incredibly accurate precision on the strike. But either way, Denke gets his first goal in Major League Soccer play and first goal in MLS for FC Cincinnati on the season.
Well, it was. And look, there was talk this offseason, can FC Cincinnati be better at scoring goals?
Yeah.
Right, something that they struggled at, specifically in the playoffs last season. They need Kevin Denke to be that guy, and he gets the first goal of his season. And, dude, Miles Robinson.
Next level.
Unbelievable game from him. And that's one of the best defensive plays you will see at any level of any soccer game anywhere.
And again, I think that we have to put Miles Robinson in the context for this season as well, Caleb, because as it stands right now, if you ask most experts, Miles Robinson is not the guy to start for the U.S. men's national team heading into the World Cup. He's going to make a case over these next few months. And this is a huge goal from Cincinnati's own and Nick Hagglund to sort of just put the exclamation point on the game. Really good vibes in front of the Bailey at the end of the game. But for Miles Robinson, he was the man of the match for me, and a really, really important game for him, especially with no Matt Miazga in the lineup, to sort of solidify and say, even when Matt's not here, I'm still capable of being sort of like a best 11 selection in Major League Soccer as far as a center back is concerned.
Yeah, you saw Nick Hagglund with the sword pull celebration. He told us after the game that was dedicated to a kid named Jude, who had cancer. Nick Hagglund visited Jude in the hospital last year. Since then, Jude has beaten cancer. So
amazing stuff.
We love to hear that.
Stuff from Nick.
I spoke to Nick earlier this week about that. That story is going to be coming up soon on this show and on WCPO 9. Now, we talked about Miles Robinson, who was selected to the team of the match day on Saturday, or this past week, by Major League Soccer. And he had a great night. Head coach Pat Noonan noticed that as well, and he talked about it in his post-match press conference.
He played at a very, very high level tonight. Getting so many plays right. A couple balls in behind. You're talking about one of the fastest attackers in the league with Latte Lath. He's a handful. And Miles put out, I don't want to say fires, because some of those were just controlled moments that you have to anticipate plays and get your footwork and your timing right, and because you can't miss a step against an attacker like that, and he was outstanding.
Yeah, and look, and you referenced this earlier, talk about it here. Miles is giving U.S. men's national team head coach Mauricio Pochettino a little bit of something to think about as the World Cup approaches.
And I think the biggest question mark right now for Mauricio Pochettino, if he is going to go with the three-back system, is who's on the right side of that three-back system. You expect that Crystal Palace's Chris Richards will be anchoring that. Probably be Tim Ream, albeit closer to 40 than he is to 35, is going to be on the left-hand side. And then whoever's on the right, that's the position that's open. And that's a position for me, especially in Pat Noonan's system, that Miles Robinson is incredibly comfortable with. Now, he has to play at sort of like a top-level European sort of, vibe in order to make that starting 11, because Alex Friedman right now, a lot of people slide him in. He, of course, just got sold to Villarreal in Spain. So I'm really looking forward to these next few months when Miles is going to make a real case to Mauricio Pochettino and basically say, you can't not have me in the starting 11. I need to be in this spot when we play our opening game come June.
Be undeniable.
Yes.
Right? I mean, that's the best thing you can do. That game with Atlanta was the MLS season opener, again, the home opener as well for FC Cincinnati. But before that was the Champions Cup opener against O&M FC. It was down in the Dominican Republic. Leg one was. FC Cincinnati qualified for the tournament by finishing in the top 4 of the Supporters' Shield race last season. And like we said last week, the Champions Cup is the pathway to the FIFA Club World Cup. If you can make it there, that's when you're talking some big money. You talk about last year's Club World Cup. Each team that played in it received at least, like the low water mark, $9.5 million. Can you think about what? I mean, imagine what FC Cincinnati.
Do we get a piece of that or no?
Can we? I mean,
I'm just floating it out
just
there.
A little
I'm just
sliver
floating it
of
out
it. I mean, we do the show each week.
Yeah.
Just saying. Chelsea, the team that won it all, they got over $100 million. I mean, at that point, like, we got to get a little bit.
Just a taste. Just a little taste.
2 days ago, Wednesday was the second leg, I should say, in a 2-game aggregate format. Coming into the game, O&M FC, they needed at least 4 goals to make it any kind of a competition. That didn't work out for them at the Fortress Wednesday. And I said, how many goals can we get into this 10-minute segment with you? We've got 2. There's 3. So we're going to see if we can beat 10.
Yeah.
They had no trouble, FC Cincinnati. Didn't have any trouble scoring in this game. And how about the feed from Obina Wobodo on that?
Obina Wobodo with a hat trick of assists on the game. And the O&M Republic players were asking him for his shirt after the game. Were asking him for his cleats, and basically were referring to him as Neymar after the game. And Obina Wobodo was sort of like, no, that's not me. Please don't consider me that. I mean, it just goes to show, Caleb. I mean,
it's got to feel good for him.
It's got to feel great for him, especially given this time last year, Caleb. Like, he ended up picking up a pretty big knock that resulted in him missing most of the season. We still have yet to see the starting center midfield pairing of Obina Wobodo and Pavel Buka, which I imagine is going to be sort of their first choice midfield. But Obina was fantastic. I thought the finishing was actually really, really good. I know the quality of opponent is not there, but I thought a lot of these finishes, again, there's 9 to choose from. I thought, like, this is an excellent finish from a kid who's making his debut and scores his first ever goal at this level. Like, that's a classy finish that most MLS keepers are not getting to. But you felt for the Dominican Republic side, a group that sort of had a storybook run in the Caribbean Cup, which allowed them to be able to qualify, but they only had 14 field players rostered for this game because they were dealing with visa and passport issues and the whole thing, and a lot of stuff that we just don't really experience here in Major League Soccer, and that some of these smaller clubs have to deal with from an operational standpoint. But again, if you're FC Cincinnati, why not pump in 9 to just feel as good as possible at home and heading into the round of 16?
Well, and not only that, but you're talking about some second-team guys here. You're talking
almost
about
all second-team.
Exactly. And so you're talking about, and then just being able to set those guys loose and saying, you know what, go do it. And they did it, and they did it successfully. Like you said, 9 goals, and then and some of these very nice ones.
Yes, and and Stephen Trilla gets on the scoreboard, and his brother was actually the one who started the play by playing the long ball. And just a really sort of good feeling night for the club, and obviously not for the goalkeeper on the other end, but Pat Noonan again, like, thrilled with the result, thrilled with the goals, clean sheets, and again, it's just all about carrying momentum into what is now a familiar opponent in Tigres heading into the next round.
And FC Cincinnati remains perfect, 2-0-0 when there's a large tree behind the goal. How about that?
F-Tree Cincinnati?
F-Tree Cincinnati.
Sorry, I had to throw it
I
in.
like it. No, I like it.
You like it. Everybody else is probably going to hate it, but I appreciate it. Thank
I don't know. I'm for it. All right, so FC Cincinnati advances on aggregate 13-0. And their next opponent is when it starts to heat up. It's the same team that beat them in the second round of this Champions Cup tournament last year. That is Tigres, a team out of Mexico. Here's a look at the corner of the bracket that FC Cincinnati is in for Champions Cup. Tigres advanced a couple of weeks ago, so they've been just kind of chilling, waiting to find out who their next opponent would be. I'm sure they pretty much expected it to be the Orange and Blue, especially after that 4-0 win for FC Cincinnati in the first leg.
Yeah, and this is a Tigres team that is not performing spectacularly right now in Liga MX. They're coached, of course, by former Tigres legend Guido Pizarro, who actually took over last year. He retired from playing in the same week that he also took over the starting coaching position. And this is his first full year being in charge of one of the biggest clubs in Mexico. But you look at the other side of the bracket, too. I mean, you can't really ask for much more from an MLS standpoint. You got a Cascadia rivalry between Seattle and Vancouver. Seattle team that won Leagues Cup last year, a Vancouver side that went to the final of this competition, as well as MLS Cup and won Canadian Championship. Again, if you want to win this tournament, Caleb, you talked about getting to the FIFA Club World Cup. You're going to have to beat some of the best teams in the region. They just happen to be going up against Tigres, who's, you know, again, if you look at their roster and the salary and the money that they spend, it's astronomical. But this is a beatable team. And again, if we go back to that second leg in Mexico last year, they had it. They fell apart in the final 35 minutes or so. But this is a beatable team, and FC Cincinnati, I know this is a massive hump that they're trying to get over as a club.
All right, so FC Cincinnati will now take a week off from Champions Cup play before getting to Tigres. They'll resume in a couple weeks against that team. Next up, in the immediate future for the Orange and Blue, is another regular season Major League Soccer matchup against Minnesota United. It's a team that Cincinnati did not play last year, but it's a team that finished fourth in the West and lost in the second round of the MLS Cup playoffs, much like Cincinnati did. So let's take a look at our match preview brought to you by Ray St. Clair Roofing. Minnesota opened up their season on the road. It was a draw down in Texas against Austin this past week. This is video from that match, Tyler.
Yeah, Brendan Heinzike getting on the score sheet early for Austin. A little bit of, their own medicine, if you will, for Minnesota United in terms of scoring from a set piece. That was something that Minnesota almost exclusively scored goals off of last year between corners and long throw-ins, and they returned the favor. Morris Duggan getting on the score sheet. But you and I were talking before the show, like, this is a very different looking Minnesota United team to what we saw last year. Eric Ramsey, who was in charge of the club, went over to West Brom over in England in the second division. He ends up getting fired after about 50 days in charge, but what he was most known for is like really good, compact, sound defensive soccer, albeit boring at times, very, very effective. We're not exactly sure what we're going to get out of this new Minnesota United team that has had a lot of changes. Of course, James Rodriguez, the legendary Colombian player, is rumored to potentially be making his debut. A lot of new pieces sort of floating in and out in some key positions from them, including Thomas Chocolai, but a really interesting cross-conference matchup. And like you said, like a team that they're not familiar with. And I know firsthand that a lot of these coaching staffs, like, it's difficult to get a good idea of like the Western Conference teams because you just some years don't have to pay attention as much as you would. And now you're coming into sort of week 2 of Major League Soccer against a side and a coach that you're not really exactly sure what to expect heading into this fixture.
And it's the first true road match this season for FC Cincinnati in Major League Soccer play. Of course, they went down to the Dominican Republic once as part of the Champions Cup. Real quick here, what do you need to see from FC Cincinnati in their first true road match of the MLS season?
Better start than what we saw against Atlanta United. And I know that was an Atlanta team that was struggling, and they started a 17-year-old in the middle of the field, and they just brought in a new player who didn't play in that game. I know for a fact that Pat Noonan could not have been happy with the first 30 minutes of that game. It was some of the worst soccer that I've probably seen Cincinnati play outside of that Inter Miami game, that ended up ending their season last year. Sharper start, more chances created, and more connection between Kevin Denke and Ayub Jabari. I thought that they were really disconnected, and maybe that's part of the game plan, but I would have to imagine in the two-striker system, you want the two of them to be linking up a little bit more. I would love to see more of that defensively. Can't really ask for much more, and ask Miles Robinson to continue to hold it down.
All right, you can listen to Tyler on Sirius XM FC on your radio, your phone, your computer, your tablet, carrier pigeon, lots of different ways. If you want to listen to him, there's a way to do it. You can also watch him on Fox Sports doing soccer play-by-play for both club and international competitions. Thanks so much, man.
As always. Yep.
We'll see you next time. FC Cincinnati Weekly, we'll be right back. Don't go away.
Every year, millions fly with us at Allegiant because together, we go places. We see old friends. and try new things. We laugh. We really like to laugh. And reconnect. We remember. And we wander, which leads to wonder. From how we go to where we go to what we do when we get there, we go further together.
Why choose between getting things done and doing things with the ones you love? With Kroger's same-day pickup and delivery, it's easy to shop the same great prices and quality you'd find in-store, so you can catch more family time. We'll bring your groceries right to you, satisfaction guaranteed, so you can spend time on what matters most. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
We look through a lens of dividend growth, stability, more peace of mind, more confidence. Our clients are truly at the center of every decision we make.
You know, young families having their first child, all of a sudden there's financial questions in terms of saving for college, and elderly parents that all of a sudden have escalating healthcare bills. We try to deliver certainty and the confidence and peace of mind that they are on the right track.
Skyline's new chicken chili is here. Now you can enjoy that legendary Skyline taste with the new protein option. Try Skyline chicken chili on Ways, Coney's, and all your Skyline favorites. It's a new spin on a classic taste. Which way are you going to try Skyline's new chicken chili? On a three-way or cheese Coney's? Maybe a chicken chili chilito or chicken chili cheese fries. There are lots of ways to enjoy Skyline's new chicken chili. Come try it today.
Hey everyone, welcome back on FC Cincinnati Weekly. You know, the Orange and Blue are off to a great start this season. 2 wins in CONCACAF Champions Cup, as discussed earlier in the show, and that win over Atlanta and the MLS season opener. I had a chance to sit down with President and co-CEO of the club, Jeff Birding, before the season started. We showed you some of that last week. We're going to dip into that again this week and get Jeff's thoughts on this year's team as they get going. Take a look. How excited are you to see this team come to life this season?
Well, I'm excited because we brought back most of the team, so probably the least amount of turnover on the roster than we've had in some time. And so we have a very veteran-led roster. You know, Evander was one of the top few for the MVP award. Kevin Danke was great last year, scoring a lot of goals, but he knows he's hungry to score a lot more goals. Miles Robinson, of course, had a great year last year, and he's a part of the U.S. men's national team World Cup, most certainly. And just a lot of other guys we brought back. We had a lot of injuries last year. We've made a few changes on the coaching staff. We want to unlock the offensive potential that Evander and Kevin and our group have.
Potential that's certainly there, no doubt.
We did sign a new left wing back, Brian Ramirez, replaced Luca Orishano, who moved on.
Right.
So, you know, we think we should be better offensively this year, scoring more goals, creating more chances. It's more fun for the fans to watch. And certainly in order for us to reach our goals of winning trophies, we need to be a team that scores more goals.
We are not done yet. Coming up, we will meet one of the newest weapons on the Orange and Blue, added this past offseason. Don't go away. FC Cincinnati Weekly will be right back.
Why choose between getting things done and doing things with the ones you love? With Kroger's same-day pickup and delivery, it's easy to shop the same great prices and quality you'd find in-store, so you can catch more family time. We'll bring your groceries right to you, satisfaction guaranteed, so you can spend time on what matters most. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
At First Financial Bank, we're all for Cincy and all for giving you more. With the FC Cincinnati debit card, your first drink is on us at every home match this season. Plus, our checking accounts come with thousands of fee-free ATMs worldwide, access to loan benefits, as well as ticket and select team merchandise discounts. At First Financial Bank, we're all for Cincy and all for you. Visit bankatfirst.com/FCC to learn more. First!
We look through a lens of dividend growth, stability, more peace of mind, more confidence. Our clients are truly at the center of every decision we make.
You know, young families having their first child, all of a sudden there's financial questions in terms of saving for college, and elderly parents that all of a sudden have escalating healthcare bills. We try to deliver certainty and the confidence and peace of mind that they are on the right track.
With all the rain, snow, and mud we get around here, it's all-wheel drive all year round because nothing else gives you the confidence and capability to handle it all.
And nobody gives you more all-wheel drive choices than Toyota, including Tacoma, the best-selling truck in its class for the last 21 years. Now with 2.99 APR financing.
Or lease this well-equipped 25 Tacoma for $279 a month.
With 2 years, no-cost maintenance included.
Nobody knows all-wheel drive better than Toyota. Let's go places.
This is the player of the match, and it's that DB, defender, Miles Robinson. And there you see the speed of Miles Robinson outrunning Miguel Almiron.
That's a high IQ there on display from Miles Robinson, center back from FC Cincinnati. Every single time Atlanta United seemed to find a crack in the defense, Miles Robinson was there.
Welcome back, everyone, on FC Cincinnati Weekly. In the offseason, the club added another weapon to their attack when they signed forward Tom Barlow. He's already made his presence felt with 2 goals in the CONCACAF Champions Cup, one in the first leg and another this past Wednesday. Let's meet one of the newest additions to the Orange and Blue. This is Tom Barlow.
Hi, my name's Tom Barlow. I'm from St. Louis, Missouri, and I play forward for FC Cincinnati. My soccer journey started when I was probably around 3 years old back in St. Louis. I went to the University of Wisconsin-Madison, played in college. I was drafted out to the team in New York, the Red Bulls. I was traded to Chicago Fire. Here I am now in Cincinnati. I describe myself as a player, hardworking, leave it all on the field for the team, but I'm a winner, so just trying to win. I've competed against the team the last couple of years, and they have all the tools, I think, to go all the way and win the MLS Cup. They have a great coaching staff, great stadium, great players, and obviously great fans. So I think they have all the right pieces, and it's just a matter of going out and doing it.
Well, the 7 Hills of Cincinnati represent perseverance, resilience, and unity. The 7 Hills kit pays tribute to that legacy, honoring the city, the club, and the community that continues to rise together. It's a symbol of where we've been and what's ahead. Fans can purchase the kit now at fccincinnatigo.com and at the FC Cincinnati team stores around town. Stick around. FC Cincinnati Weekly will be right back.
At the highest level, care means everything. Whether it's keeping pros at their peak or helping you get back to yours.
We are proud to partner with FC Cincinnati.
Mercy Health, the official healthcare provider of FC Cincinnati. Care worthy of the pros.
Skyline's new chicken chili is here. Now you can enjoy that legendary Skyline taste with the new protein option. Try Skyline chicken chili on Waze, Coney's, and all your Skyline favorites. It's a new spin on a classic taste. Which way are you gonna try Skyline's new chicken chili? On a 3-way or cheese Coney's? Maybe a chicken chili chilito or chicken chili cheese fries. There are lots of ways to enjoy Skyline's new chicken chili. Come try it today.
Around here, it's all-wheel drive all year round.
If you like to go where the road doesn't go, it's all-wheel drive season.
If there's rain, snow, or mud in the forecast, it's all-wheel drive season.
And nobody gives you more all-wheel drive choices than Toyota.
Like the best-selling Camry or the stylishly advanced new Corolla.
Now get a new 26 Corolla or Camry with 4.99 APR financing.
Or lease a Corolla for $199 a month or a Camry for just $279 a month. All-wheel drive 365. Toyota. Let's go places.
In Ohio, we have 3 simple steps you can take to dig safely. First, contact Ohio 811. Second, wait the required 48 hours so utility companies have time to mark their underground lines. Finally, dig with care. This is how we protect you, your home, and your family. Visit ohio811.org to learn more and call Ohio 811 before you dig.
Welcome back, everyone, on FC Cincinnati Weekly. You know, the team returns home on Sunday, March 8th to take on Toronto FC. Kickoff that night set for 7 o'clock. Make sure to get there early as the first 10,000 fans to step inside TQL Stadium will get an Evander bobblehead. You can get your tickets by scanning the QR code on your screen or by getting online and visiting fccincinnati.com. Well, you can catch FC Cincinnati in action in the round of 16, part of the CONCACAF Champions Cup tournament. On Thursday, March 12th, the Orange and Blue will host Tigres UNL at TQL Stadium. That is Thursday, March 12th. You can get your tickets at fccincinnati.com. Well, that'll do it for episode 2 of 2026 for FC Cincinnati Weekly, year 4 of our continuing partnership with FC Cincinnati Weekly here at WCPO9. It is the most comprehensive coverage of the Orange and Blue you'll find anywhere. Join us every Friday night at 7:30 for Tyler Terrens and the rest of our crew. Have a great night and go FCC.
Match day 1 in Major League Soccer brings us to the Queen City of Cincinnati, Ohio, as they come marching in to TQL Stadium for an Eastern Conference matchup. And we're underway from the Queen City, Cincinnati, going from left to right. It's great to have you with us. Along the edge of the area, Lobjanidze, and a parry away by Celentano. Here's Denke off the post. And here comes Cincinnati up that right-hand side. Echenique, he finds Denke. Denke with patience. Denke puts it away. There's the breakthrough for Cincinnati in the 80th minute. And here comes the corner in the 90th minute. This one's flicked home! And it had to be that man! Nick Hagland, the fan favorite, to put it away!
Here's to the people who dig deeper and do what it takes to build it and keep it running. The people who understand the simple, undeniable truth that no matter what the question, the obstacle, or the challenge, there's only one answer. Let's do the work.
The Joseph Auto Group is Cincinnati's largest. With 20 stores and 13 brands, we've got you covered. From family SUVs to luxury performance, off-road legends to premium rides, the Joseph Auto Group is your destination for all your vehicle needs. Expert service, incredible offers, trusted staff, unbeatable selection. Ask your neighbors, they bought from us. Visit us at any of our dealerships or online at josephauto.com.
At First Financial Bank, we're all for Cincy and all for giving you more. With the FC Cincinnati debit card, your first drink is on us at every home match this season. Plus, our checking accounts come with thousands of fee-free ATMs worldwide, access to loan benefits, as well as ticket and select team merchandise discounts. At First Financial Bank, we're all for Cincy and all for you. Visit bankatfirst.com/FCC to learn more. First!
At the highest level, care means everything. Whether it's keeping pros at their peak or helping you get back to yours.
We are proud to partner with FC Cincinnati.
Mercy Health, the official healthcare provider of FC Cincinnati. Care worthy of the pros.